So this year's theme, for those of you joining us that aren't aware, is using technology to improve education in Jackson, Tennessee. So 24 hours ago, roughly, you learned what that theme was. And you've been working towards that goal. We've got now 4 judges that will be evaluating you. Their decision will be final in terms of who wins first, second, third place. We'll announce that shortly after the last presentation. We'll go pretty rapid fire fashion, meaning each of the teams have a total of 10 minutes. 7 minutes to present. I will be a little bit rude and stop them at 7 minutes, wherever they happen to fall. And then 3 minutes of Q&A from the judges. I'll be a little bit more flexible with the Q&A, meaning if the teams have been relatively concise in answering questions and aren't belaboring the point, and we're in the middle of receiving an answer from the judges, we'll let that answer go ahead and come fairly concisely and just not answer a new question or ask a new question at that point. Once one team's gone, we'll jump into the next team. We'll go pretty rapid fashion. I will come up and help the teams and just making sure we got a couple technology things straight in terms of getting the presentation where those joining us online and for the recording that's going on, it can be captured. With that, I'm going to get out of the way and let the stars of the show come up. Our first team is Spark Reality.
My name is Madison McCary. This is Laura and Julia, and we are all engineering majors at Union University. And we have come up with the idea of Spark Reality.
So the problem we found going through school is that there's not enough opportunities to develop our imaginations and feel our creativity. And I personally struggle with this. I've always struggled with creativity, and me being an engineering major, it's not like, it's kind of detrimental, but we struggle through that, but it's fine. And that's why we came up with Spark Reality. And Spark Reality is a way for us to bring the field trips to the kids instead of having the kids go to the field trip, which is a little bit more of a struggle now since COVID happened. But this method will not only improve our education system, but it'll also bridge the gap between the schools and the after-school care systems.
Spark Reality is an after-school program that would serve as childcare for elementary-age children. This builds curiosity and imagination in the younger generation, so our future workforce will be more innovative than ever. Preferably, the bus would be an additional supplementary program for children below the poverty line. If the idea is implemented, demographic checks would have to be pulled to see where the need for the bus is most. One of the places the bus could visit is schools. That way we can have the childcare directly after school and reach the elementary kids. The bus could also teach near apartment complexes or shopping plazas, such as Lincoln Courts or the apartment complex near the old Kmart off of Old Hickory. These places are also ideal because we can utilize JEA's internet and their broadband network.
Bus would visit at least 2 different places per week, which would allow more children to be reached during that week. And this gives them something to look forward to and encourage them to expand their creativity and EQ. By engaging children outside of the class, they will then engage more when they're inside the classroom, and the bus will help teach the children some of these skills that busy families don't always get to teach them. And the curriculum would include teaching the children investigative skills essential for excelling in school later on and in the workplace. And the aftercare program helps complete the knowledge gaps that are present in the students by encouraging them to be more creative, which would improve their overall scores of students and also allow the parents to do everyday tasks while their children are at the bus and still engaging in STEM.
Competitors will argue that the traveling classroom already exists, but this is not a class. This is a field trip that we're bringing to the kids. We focus on building soft skills by guiding them through STEM skills. Our goal is to have a stronger foundation of EQ through IQ. by using equipment like iPads, Oculus Quest, 4K videos by JEA, and other portable technology to reach more people. This is possible using JEA's fiber technology that are capable of supporting the high bandwidth needed in order to allow the technology to run as smoothly as possible. Technology such as iPads and Oculus Quest can slow down the internet speed, so we will use JEA technology, which is more reliable. Since light travels through the cables extremely fast at about 186,000 miles per minute, this allows for faster internet and more bandwidth room to use more devices, which means no cranky kindergartners or other elementary kids because their screens are less likely to freeze.
We will accomplish Spark Reality through co-ops and donations. The bus itself could be donated, or we could find cheaper alternatives, such as having high school students for community service or using the Loop program to build a tiny house on a trailer. The local library could provide resources for a program, and co-oping with local teachers could also provide great insight into what is needed in the lives of students under the poverty line or those who haven't attended pre-K. We may be able to pull money from the James Madison County school system, which is looking to spend $37 million in grant money. According to jacksonsun.com, the board is looking to invest in literacy readers, educational assistants in kindergarten, the Loop, and focus training on soft skills. Spark Reality falls into these categories, so JMCSS would be a great funding option.
In addition to the funding and curriculum, we would have to find a driver and people to staff the bus. Spark Reality would partner with colleges and ask for their students to staff the bus for internships. They could be from any major. Some campuses will even pay for their students to have background checks run. Some contributors could be Oculus, the local library, and the co. They could supply some of the technology and/or funding needed in the bus. Building the technology that we need will also build the foundation of our future and our future workforce. On Oculus's website, they mention a community outreach by stating, and I quote, "There's nothing virtual about the difference we can make. We have the potential to transform education, improve productivity, advance social movements, and expand our understanding of people and cultures around the world, all through the power of improving virtual reality." End quote. Hence the name Spark Reality, inspiring kids to think outside the box by igniting the imagination inside them. Thank you.
All right, hello everybody. My name is Max Gustafson. I'm representing the University of Memphis. I'm team 2, and that includes myself, Reed Mitchell, Quincy Adams, Robert Van Broek, and Juan Molina. Today, I want to talk to you about our serious problem. We are not actually fostering the entrepreneurial mindsets that so many of our youths have today. According to the Gallup Hope Index, they found that students dropped entrepreneurial aspirations significantly after the 8th grade. And if you look at the table below, that shows you the positive responses around doing entrepreneurial things such as owning a business from grades 5 through 8 and grades 9 through 12. This study was done over a 6-year period. So the Social Science Resource Network also did a study showing that students who complete a program for entrepreneurial skills are more likely to start a business. So why aren't we trying to foster that mindset in our youth? Why aren't we trying to help them grow in these desires? Businesses are fueled by entrepreneurs, and businesses fuel our economy. So if Jackson wants to increase the growth of their economy and their competitive advantage, then we need to focus on the people who are going to be the future of it. And I believe we could start this solution with something as simple as a one-stop shop app that's geared towards students 8th through 12th grade that could give them opportunities and resources to thrive entrepreneurially. This would include a homepage for events, learning videos tab, scholarships tab, and advisors/mentors tabs. Of course, this list isn't exhaustive if we decide there's something really good else to put on there. The homepage would be like any bulletin board that you've ever seen, whether that was at your local high school. It could give you internship opportunities with local businesses. It could tell you about camps, seminars, or classes in the local area that are geared towards the student interest and that could actually create more interest in these different things. It could also be talking about events with guest speakers from a local Jackson company that wanted to come to the Madison County school system. The Learning Videos tab would be a tab that has multiple videos that are shared by business professionals that offer valuable insights to these students about entrepreneurial practices. We would hope that we would be able to do a partnership with SHRM in order for them to help create videos as well that are more specific and valuable for students. And it could be even simple things like resume building or personal finance, or just outlining the responsibilities, the day in the life of someone in a certain career or field, things that they need to learn. Then there would be a scholarship tab. This tab is going to be a little bit more geared towards our older crowd, so 11th and 12th graders. It's dedicated to showing scholarship opportunities nationally, locally, and could also be an opportunity for different businesses to share their opportunities, whether that is a tuition reimbursement program. I can tell you that who I work for does provide a tuition reimbursement program, and I can't say that if they didn't have it, I would still be working with them while I'm still in school right now. So I know how motivating that is. And then my favorite is the advisors/mentors tabs. The tab would offer a list of all of the local field or career options in which students might be interested. It would be sort of like a university website for its majors that it has listed A through Z. So this would feature a video of a professional in that field briefly describing the job, hopefully short, 2.5 minutes to keep people's attention. And below that, it would have contact info as well as a Zoom schedule for that professional so that there could actually be two-way communication between the student and the professional and actually create a channel for them to interact with people in the business world. This could result in them having a shadowing opportunity or just an interest meeting that they're able to go to for a business. It would also be able to have outreach opportunities for institutions, for people of similar backgrounds or with someone that has experience in a field that they're interested in. This might be like career advising with the Tennessee College of Applied Technology or Jackson State Community College. I see career advising as rather interesting because we start to do it really when we get to college, and we don't do a lot of preparation for that kind of stuff prior to that. So why don't we focus on them at the point when they're most susceptible to taking in this information, and so they can start to create their own path. This could also be with the NAACP. I know that they have an empowerment program as well. This could be a good opportunity for minority entrepreneurs, people who need role models, people who want someone to look up to, someone who has been there, done that. It will give them more confidence and optimism for them to go forward and actually try and take on these challenges and tackle them, whether they fall down or not. I would also like to partner with existing county schools mentorship programs, as I've been made aware that there are some of those, and these could be accessible for more information through this section of the app as well. For promotion, I believe that we would have a pretty easy time getting the word out. We could do it through the Jackson-Madison County school system as well as JCM Early College High. And thanks to the fact that both of these institutions utilize JEA's fiber broadband network, they would always have this access, even if they don't have access within their home. Our youth are our future, so we need to start focusing on them. We need to help them. We need to build their confidence so that in the future, they are able to build Jackson. Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Parker Rice. This is Cade Crowder, and this is Ben Newhall. And this is our group Pre-Connect, a network to connect students and parents to resources.
So pre-K is a large predictor of success on tests in kindergarten. In fact, as Olivia Abernathy noted, 90% of a child's brain is developed by the age of 5, including their social, behavioral, and learning abilities. So you would think that pre-K is of great necessity for a child. However, only 40% of kids have the opportunity to get to pre-K, which is affecting 2,000 plus kids every year here in Jackson-Madison County. This lack of access is not just affecting kids that don't attend pre-K. Kindergarten teachers have noted that those that failed to go to pre-K caused delayed in learning for others since the child is having to catch up and learn valuable skills needed to succeed. So the question remains, how do we help the parents trying to get their child the education they need to succeed?
And the solution to that is the Pre-Connect app. So we want something that is practical, implementable, and useful for the community. So Pre-Connect is a resource consolidation and information service, which will allow parents to be more involved in their child's early education. This service would be offered by the JMCSS via their website and a smartphone app. So here's a picture of the Jackson-Madison County School website, and that's exactly where this link could fit in to get connected to this website or get connected to our app. The features will involve curriculum and supplemental parental resources, and we'll delve into that.
So yeah, the curriculum portion of this app would involve an easy to use daily lessons, which are customizable to the child's specific needs. It's like their specific needs, such as their age and their prior experience. And these curriculums would be almost like a little 5-minute lesson that the parent could do with their child and interact with their child in order to help them grow and be prepared for kindergarten when they're not able to be at childcare. The app would also allow the user to receive electronic notifications to help them remember and know to do their daily learning with their child. So if you're like me, you're a little forgetful. And so a little notification here and there is always nice to help you remember to get things done. We would plan to develop the curriculum by education professionals. And we'll touch a little bit more on that later. So some of the relevant resources that this app would have would include guides which help parents not only know what to teach their kids, but also know how to teach it. So one of the major things that talking to the experts we noticed is that kids whose parents even are engaged with them and trying to help them be prepared for school just sometimes don't know how to teach their kids the information they need to know, even if they know what they need to learn to be ready for kindergarten. So we want to incorporate some of that into some of the curriculum resources offered on this app. Another thing that we would want to offer would be a space to allow parents to be informed of public events such as library book readings, educational tours, other such things which would be useful to kids to be able to get experiences and to be able to socialize with other kids. This would be very beneficial in growing the social aspect and not just the logical reasoning aspect of their development. So some other things we'd want to incorporate would be links and other, not necessarily advertisements, but places where people can get information about other types of daycare options and also financial aid programs, which would be very beneficial to parents who are trying to get their kids in daycare.
So when researching this, we found that there is a lot of just aid programs for low-income parents that they could apply for. And so having that in this app would be a really great place to just make sure they're aware of everything that could benefit them. So as far as benefits and supports go, parental involvement is a large predictor of success. And this really will increase parental involvement at an early age and hopefully will sustain that. We spoke with Haley Mills, a kindergarten teacher and curriculum coach at Thoma Barker, and she said that by doing something like this, it would really help by having the other kids who aren't exposed to pre-K be more prepared for the classroom when they get there. As we said, the main goal of this is to provide a central hub for a variety of different resources for parents. And so, like I said, this will really interconnect parents in a multitude of different ways, whether that be curriculum or just information in the community about where they can go. And as Teresa McSweeney said, that as someone in the school system, she believes that the board would be very interested in this app. And Sabrina Anderson of the Boys and Girls Club said this idea would make it easier for low-income families to have resources. And I think this app is a great idea. And I think that's really good because it shows someone in the school system and outside of the school system offering support for this app.
So we're going to look at the cost of implementing this. Service would total approximately around $50,000 under our estimates and experts' investments. This would be easily covered by the preschool development grant, which is offered by our government. And there's other grants available, but that is the main grant we would like to apply for with this app. The app and website development for this would take approximately a year, and Kate's going to break that down for us.
So the cost has two main components. So the first component would be the technological development of the app itself and the website. That would cost approximately $20,000 to expert from the Christian Harper. And then it would be about another $30,000 according to some of the experts we talked to about education and curriculum development. So that'd be about another $30,000 of cost.
So yeah, by partnering with the JMCSS, the federal and state grant money could really solve the issues on cost. And as far as the development of the material, we wanted to make sure that it would be done by the educational professionals and leaders. So just one thing we want to talk about is the potential for future growth of this app. This app could lead to new avenues of carving out partnerships with the YMCA, which is looking to expand, the Memphis branch is looking to expand into Jackson, local churches and local college education programs. This could serve to host events in public spaces to where it could give kids more of an opportunity to be taught in that social settings. And we just think this app could really be an avenue to start those partnerships and start some of those new organizations and ideas to reach the kids. And also this app we feel could move to just out of pre-kindergarten to all ages to offer supplemental materials.
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Tadeja Bonner.
Good afternoon. My name is Corian Davis, and our project is Aim Higher. So the premise of our project, Aim Higher, is focused on bridging the gap between the school and the parent. Ideally, we've realized that due to COVID, obviously, a lot of things have changed. We've been stretching and working toward normalizing our everyday functions like school, how we go about ordering DoorDashes, how we go about doing multiple things throughout the day. Excuse my nerves. So, in order to bridge the gap between education, in order to bridge the gap between the parent and the school system, we decided to create an app that would allow parents to access informational tools and resources that teach them the simplest things, from how to create or log into a Clever account, how to navigate PowerSchool, how to do multiple things in order to be able to hold their students accountable for the work that they do or the work that they are supposed to be doing. We do realize that the pandemic has placed many families in unique positions. Parents work, students are tired and trying to acclimate to learning at home and learning on Chromebooks. So this is a bit about what our solution is to deal with that.
What is Aim Higher?
Aim Higher is an app.
For basketball?
No, it's an app for assisting parents and teachers to communicate more effectively.
Why would we want parents and teachers talking more?
Well, since our students are back in school in person, we're seeing more academic gaps that were caused by the pandemic.
Agreed, but there is an app for that. Make it make sense.
Chromebooks.
Chromebooks.
Yes, Chromebooks. They have the capability for apps to be administratively downloaded.
Okay, and
Parents can access the Aim Higher app on the Chromebook and find a hub of information just for them.
nice, but how?
By using short, informative, step-by-step videos for them to follow, like how to navigate PowerSchool, how to set up grade alerts, how to link multiple students' grades.
Okay,
Listen, we must hold our students accountable and keep our parents informed.
exactly. We must
Aim higher. Some of the main benefits of the app Aim Higher is that it will be user-friendly. It'll be easy to use. Not only will it teach parents how to navigate these multiple student information systems used by districts like Jackson, Madison County school systems, but it'll also include easy access 24/7. So if you're a parent who works the third shift and you find yourself getting off at about 3 o'clock in the morning, but you still have to deal with that issue that little Johnny had when the teacher called you while you were at work, you can easily access all of Johnny's student information systems by accessing the Aim Higher app. It's engaging. The main point of this engagement with the app would be it'll be a sense of ease, a sense of relief for people who are not technologically savvy. It'll also provide awareness for what's happening in the school system, what's happening in that specific school, what's happening in that district. Private access. Private access over an encrypted system that would obviously be provided by the wonderful technological advancement of JEA's fiber optic network. One of the main things that this app would include, biggest feature, is it'll redirect you to a JMC SS Parent Hub. The Parent Hub would be a YouTube channel, or if we wanted to use some other software, we could easily transfer it there. But this would be a hub of information just for parents to be able to figure out what it is that they need to know. We already know that so many people struggle with social media. I even struggle with the new updates on the iPhone, and I'm 22. So that tells you how fast we are moving with technology in today's time. The JMC SS Parent Hub would be the ultimate parent connection that allows parents to find out exactly how to do what it is that they need to do. Automatically accessible through the Aim Higher app. We had a link here, but this is in PDF format, so you won't be able to see that. But if you all are able, if you have the YouTube app, you can go ahead and type in JMC SS Parent Hub, and we have a shell page and channel that you can access, just to show what it'd be like. As a part of this plan with the Aim Higher app, we discussed with experts the importance of also offering face-to-face workshops. In person is so vital in today's time. It's vital. If you don't know how to navigate Facebook, what makes you think that you'd be able to understand some foreign system like Clever or Power School just by watching a video? You want to make sure that people are able to figure out what it is in real time. Okay. Thank you.
We were really encouraged yesterday to hear from experts in our community who shared exciting new developments about where Jackson is going. Our team keyed in on several opportunities that framed our thinking about how to make sure that every member of this community moves forward as Jackson prepares to take bold steps forward. I'm Alicia Wibbenmeyer, and I'm joined with other members of our team, Karma Gamble and Sierra Wagner. Today, you will hear the details of our plan to strengthen the experience of Jackson Middle School students called Vital, which is using virtual reality supporting immersive and experiential learning. Here are some of the quotes that really stuck with us from yesterday. From JEA, we heard part of paving Jackson's future is equalizing educational opportunities. From United Way, we heard we need to think deeply about what cradle to career means for us. And from Jackson Madison County School System, we heard people don't know what they don't know. Exposure creates opportunity. And it's this last quote that inspired our idea. First, we need to identify the current constraints that might be possible. First, there are three constraints that limit the cultural experiences there are three cultural constraints that limit the cultural experiences of the children in our area. Instructional time must always be a top priority. And as for any project, funding is a key constraint. Limited bus availability means students have less access to historical and cultural experiences outside of our immediate area. Once we understood our constraints, we sought out other schools that have successfully addressed these challenges, and Carmen will now share those findings.
So we've found multiple schools across the country that have already began to utilize Vital in their classrooms. And starting off with a larger school in Phoenix, Arizona, they actually use this across multiple districts. And at the other end of the spectrum, at Lee Middle School in Sharpsburg, Georgia, it's an extremely small town. It's only about 627 acres, but they use Vital in their classrooms so their students can visit places like Southwest Asia and the Arabian Peninsula. Closer in size to Jackson, we have New Braunfels, Texas, and they use Vital over multiple different disciplines. In their science class, students can actually basically hold virtually a human heart in their hand. And they can also visit the National Library in Athens, Greece, and the Met in New York City. And only 26 miles from where we are now, in Bolivar, Tennessee, Vital is being used so students can experience places like the Louvre, the Women's National History Museum, and the Georgia Aquarium. In addition, Vital gives students the opportunity to have enriching cultural experiences that will also enhance their competency. Competency is extremely important in the school setting as it aids students in developing higher critical thinking skills. And these first three, the Louvre, the Women's National Museum, the Georgia Aquarium, those are all places that Bolivar's visited. And then at the end here, we have the Smithsonian, and there's even opportunities to visit NASA and Mars through Vital. So not only will this aid in education, but it will also provide fun and extremely cost-effective experiences for students. Now Sierra will dive more into the details about how Vital can benefit the school systems.
When we think about who will be using and supporting Vital in the classrooms, we find the many benefits for our students and even our teachers here in Jackson. First, Vital gives instructional support to our teachers as it reinforces the existing curriculum to enrich the educational, historical, and cultural opportunities that ultimately develop students' critical thinking skills. Additionally, data show that students who have exposure to immersive forms of learning will often dive deeper on their own by learning and reading outside of the classroom. Finally, providing access to technology in the classroom will allow students to excel in this ever-changing field by providing exposure to technology that many businesses already use on a day-to-day basis. You might be wondering, what could Vital look like here in Jackson? Our team has some really great news. Much of what's needed for Vital implementation to be a reality already exists. First is to identify the ideal location. Jackson Academic STEAM Academy, JASA for short. They have already requested a Oculus classroom setup, and these Oculus headsets are a key requirement for the virtual part of Vital, and now for the immersive part. JEA already provides sufficient bandwidth and speed to support high-quality streaming across multiple users. Students will be able to experience locations as a seamless experience without lagging or freezing. JASA, with the right resources provided by JEA, can easily implement VR into the school system. For this pilot rollout, kids at the middle school level are most ideal because kids between the ages of 10 and 15 are more tech and age appropriate.
receptive, and responsible with not just our virtual devices, but also with the technology they are given. Taking this first step to implement vital positions, Jackson once again is a pioneer and leader in harnessing existing innovative resources. This time, these key resources will directly strengthen our education and better support our students, and the data gathered can be used to expand this program. We would love to continue the conversation further with question and answers.
Bună ziua! Vă rog să vă gândiți cu mine astăzi împreună că sunteți studenți într-o țară unde nu știți să vorbiți limba și nici părinții tăi știe cum să vorbească limba asta. Now, you probably didn't understand much of what I said, but if you were an English language learner or an ELL in our school systems, this is what every day in the classroom would be like for you. I'm Nam Pasca, and English was my second language. Imagine if we gave our entire presentation in Romanian, a language you don't understand, and then we tested you on what I just said. Now imagine that the results from that test determine the opportunities that then become open to you, impacting your future potentially forever. This is a huge problem that so many of our students in the Jackson-Madison County school system face, and it's gone unaddressed for long enough. Fortunately, thanks to a combination of JEA's broadband technology, state grants that are bringing money and technology to public schools, and the implementation of ELL assistive technology, we can bring about real change and equity. First, let's hear my friend Sean address the problems at hand.
There's a large support gap for ELL students. In fact, 10 to 25% of students in the Jackson-Madison County School District are English language learners. And that's something that we might take for granted, that we can understand people talking in front of us, but they don't. And then they're tested and their life depends on the information that they learn from this. This is something that technology can fix today. One teacher that we talked to told us that she has to pause her lesson content to type into Google Translate on her personal phone and pass it around to every single one of her English language learning students, switching languages in between each person. That is a huge inefficiency in the class because then the rest of the students don't get that time to learn this. And the ELL students only get the big picture information. They don't get all the information that they need for the class. To try to remedy this, we have traveling ESL teachers who go from school to school and give as much of their time as they can to helping these students learn. But we don't have enough ESL teachers in Jackson to cover the need. So the schools do not have, none of the schools have a full-time ESL teacher. It's just the traveling students. And that's the only time these students have to talk with someone in their own language about the stuff they're learning. This is something that needs to change. This barrier reduces future opportunities for students. Compared to the average student, EL students have a significantly lower graduation rate. Further, EL students' average ACT score is 7 points under the national average, with their score being 13.5. That's not going to get you into college, and with their language barriers and a lack of degree, reduces their chance for a traditionally high-paying job. Finally, it's only going to grow in this job market. EL students are the fastest growing student demographic population in Jackson, Tennessee. And further, with the Blue Oval City, will greatly increase the diversity as students and people are going to be coming from all around the world for this, for the advancements in technology. This is something that we have to do. And to prevent this solution is Joshua.
The current educational landscape isn't all doom and gloom. Breakthrough technology gives us a simple and feasible solution to fix this. The solution would be to give mobile devices, whether a tablet or personal computer, to students. This will then be set up with the help of an ELS teacher, shown how to use it and how to operate the software. They will then be given these tablets during the class time. It will have 3 types of software already downloaded and ready to use. The first is lecture translation software. Translation software would allow them to actually follow along with the lectures while they're trying to learn the language, so they don't fall behind school and can actually keep up. The second is written translation software, so they can take notes and not fall behind in the class. The third is the language development programs. So essentially things that can help them become more and more comfortable with the language so they're no longer needing any sort of assistance at all. This initiative and the steps we've laid out have been wildly successful in a number of different cities across the country. One of the most notable having to deal with a number of challenges is Vancouver. They had a problem of 3,000 ELL students with 98 different languages, and they implemented this program and it worked remarkably well for them. They saw a graduation rate increase from 75 to 90% among their students. They implemented this between K through 12, and they saw increases in proficiency, test grades, and overall engagement levels in the class. We believe this solution that Jackson-Madison County School District needs because it fills a gap rather than seeking to expand an existing initiative. Almost every other area of our school system is getting better year to year. However, ELL students is a growing problem with the amount of students, and it's only going to get bigger.
However, I'd like to dream a second about some of the outcomes we can have if this issue is appropriately addressed. This kind of technology can remove barriers from students. In an innovating and growing city like Jackson, there's no reason that an ELL student should have to fear for keeping up. And we've seen the example from Vancouver and so many other schools across the nation, like the Queen Elementary or Imperial High School, all who, though having high percentages of ELL students, have increasing and high grade rates. Through this is how we create true equity in our schools. If we're going to be focusing on technology, focusing on those who it can really do a big benefit for, to getting them, giving them equal opportunity to learn in our classrooms. And then finally, empowering the teachers. We have great and passionate teachers here in the school system, as I'm sure you all well know, that want nothing more than to do right by their students. We also have a great opportunity with JE Fiber and high-speed broadband, where they're able to actually use these live translating apps and little games to learn better. So why not use these tools to give success? Through all these things, we can achieve this vision of using technology to make Jackson-Madison County schools an environment where students of any background and language will be given an equal chance to excel. Thank you.
Hi, my name's Callan Gresco. I am representing the University of Memphis team. And in fear of butchering my teammates' names, I am going to let you read them instead. After our lectures yesterday, we came to a lot of new information. I don't know the word, so I'm going to skip that. Very good is what we came up with. Now, if you can tell from the title, it might be relating to some younger people, right? Right? Any nods in the audience? Okay. Hard crowd. All right, so I was one of the people who fell a grade behind in reading when I was in elementary school. I was also a year ahead of my grade. So I should not have been in third grade. I should have been in second, but because of my birthday, I got pushed ahead a little bit. But it is a statistic that 1 in 4 children will grow up without learning to read. There are roughly 66,000 people in Jackson, Tennessee. Do you know how many people that is that could not know how to read in your own city? About 16,000 people. I don't know about you, but something has got to change. As I said yesterday, we had some lectures. About 90% of reading skill is formed and developed by the age of 5 years old. I was completely shocked when I learned this. I did not know that the span of developing reading started so early and ended so early. About 60% of 3 to 4 year olds have not been in a school setting. This is potentially taking away opportunities and resources from these children to learn how to read. With that information, if they have not learned within those 3 to 4 years, that gives them 1 year in a school setting to develop that reading skill. So what's the fix? What about an at-home mobile app or web page? So whether you have a smartphone or a laptop, it can be accessed. It can be fun. It can be interactive. It can be creatively exciting for these children to learn. 85% of households across Jackson own a computer. 76% own internet subscriptions. JEA's fiber network gives us opportunities to go out in public and get good service at community centers and any public place, along with the people who do own subscriptions to those as well. What does this app offer? It is to help reading, writing, pronunciation, and comprehension. All the key figures to English. I wish I had an app like this when I was a kid, because Lord knows I needed it. What is this app specifically, though? It's an interactive book app where it is pronunciation focused. So with an interactive book app, you are pretty much setting your child down. There is a voice tracker which can track how your child is speaking these words into the computer. You can your child can watch the book function going from page to page. Now, you can't just set up a kid and say, pick a book out. We would start registration with an evaluation quiz for book level placement. This is so a child who is in kindergarten with a kindergarten placement level will not be trying to pick books that are in 2nd grade, as well as a 2nd grader who might have a 3rd grade reading level will not try to pick books that are under their level. They will not be going for kindergarten or 1st grade. It will help them develop as an individual. Rewards programs. Here goes my voice. Rewards programs are very important for children. In order to see results from children, you have to make it fun, but you also have to reward them in some way. Even adults strive from that thinking. We love trying to go to our promotion. We love trying to get a bonus, right? I mean, I sure do. So as the reward program will go, if the children are the ones who are trying to play with this, enjoy this interactive learning experience, the rewards help you save up so those children now have access to different books that are attracted to them. It is watching how their progression goes. And as they improve, the books become harder. Their reading level begins to increase. And you start to see results in these younger children who may not have had the opportunity to develop their reading program. Dolly Parton's Imagination Library. That is I believe from research, that is an organization run by Dolly Parton or her colleagues that donates hundreds of books a year, maybe even thousands, to help children from the ages of 0 years old to 5 years old learn how to read. At the end of the day, we are not just teaching children, we are creating our future through them. Thank you.
Before the judges will go and sequester just a moment, I should have done this at the beginning, but I'll ask you to use the microphone, just briefly introduce yourselves, what role you play. They will then sequester and determining our number 1, 2, and 3 teams. And if you don't mind it.
Dr. Nathan Lewis, the principal of JCM Early College High and the CTE director for JMCSS.
And I'll say, if you have not been to Early College High, it is absolutely amazing Not only this facility, but what actually happens to the facility, I think is even more amazing than the space.
Spencer Pratt, Executive Vice President of Leaders Credit Union. We're headquartered here in Jackson.
And Leaders Credit Union also has a foundation that offers education-related grants. One of the reasons we want to have leaders be part of this judge board as well.
James Christopherson, the program director of the READ team, formerly known as Arise to Read, Jackson, Madison County.
And James has been, I think for at least the last 2 years, has been an expert within this team, within this competition as well.
And Matt Marshall, President and CEO of United Way of West Tennessee.
And he's our senior judge. He's judged in this multiple years for us as well. Thank you, judges. And competitors, really great job. And keep in mind, for those of you that didn't compete, 24 hours ago, they did not even know what the theme was. So about 3 o'clock yesterday is when they were able to break away, start working on this idea. They turned in the presentations at 2:30 today. So actually 30 minutes less than 24 hours, they had all this happen. Pretty amazing. So great job, competitors as well. There's a number of partners throughout the community, as I mentioned earlier, the CO, the Chamber, the City of Jackson, but particularly JEA. I want to specifically again say thank you to Ben Lovins, Carrie Jones, Steve Bowers is here. He kind of kicked us off in our presentation part of the program yesterday in our opening ceremony. And obviously they also sponsored the prize money, largely because they want to see Jackson get better. And they see technology as being a key aspect for how it gets better. So thank you, JEA. All right, we have decisions. First of all, I want to share from the judges, with all due respect to our past competitions, it really felt like a higher percentage of these ideas, and even ones beyond first, second, third, were fantastic ideas that could be implemented within our community and would make our community stronger. And so they shared that pretty unanimously, I think unanimously, from the judges. So I just want to pass that along to you. This year also, JEA is going to sponsor gift cards for all the contestants that did not win. And so that's a nice addition on their part. Thank you. And we do have 3 winners. Not that we had any losers. But as you find sometimes in life that the very cream of the crop gets slightly separated in some things. Our third place team, and I'm going to read first kind of the statement that the judges said, showed the need for the concept, would love to see the idea develop beyond just entrepreneurship and into the workforce as a whole. Our third place team is team number 2, the Entrepreneurial Training Project, and winners of $500. And we'd like all of our teams to stay around for a quick photo op, but particularly for our winners, if you can stay around just a little bit longer as well, so we can make sure to get photo ops with each of you as well. So our second place team, the judges said, presented evidence of the need for a targeted audience using existing resources. Would love to see more development of the implementation process. Our second place team is Vital, virtual immersive teaching and learning resources. Winners of $1,500. And our grand prize winners of our first place in the 5th annual Hub City Innovation Cup for 2022. The judges said excellent description of the problem, identified the solutions and a process for implementation, and also used a lot of existing resource. Our first place winners this year are Lintech. And winners of $3,000 in prize money as well. The rest of you, we promised that we wouldn't have to escort the judges out with any kind of security. They really did think you all did fantastic jobs, and we're really proud of all your teams. Thank you for participating with us. Hopefully you got a good learning experience out of the whole thing, met some new people in our community, got to learn and love Jackson a little bit more, and also contribute. And I've already heard from multiple people, particularly some of our people with the within the school system, that really we want to follow up with several of you, each of you winners certainly, about how to start getting some of these things implemented and improving education in Jackson, Tennessee even further. Most of you know that, you hopefully have seen that, but the trajectory for education in Jackson has gotten a lot stronger. The narrative about education is changing and getting a lot stronger as well within our community. And that's because of a lot of hard work of many educators in multiple different areas through primary, secondary education, especially where we've seen a lot of the narrative getting much stronger. But that's because of not just work over the last couple of years, but work that's been going on over the last several years. And for that, we're really appreciative of our school system and all of our partners in education throughout the community. Again, thank you for participating with us in the Hub City Innovation Cup 2022.
These are more than just the sounds of a safe place to go after school. These are the sounds of interest being ignited and of mentors making an impact. The sounds of tutoring and tech and health and fitness and arts and music. At Boys and Girls Clubs, we don't do just one thing. We do whatever it takes to meet the needs of every kid who comes through those doors. Because whatever it takes is what it takes to build great futures. Great futures start here.
More than 70,000 people die from drug abuse in a year. 7.5 million people work more than one job to make ends meet. Human trafficking is a $32 billion industry in the U.S. On a single night, over 500,000 people are homeless in the U.S. Together, with thousands of corporate partners and millions of donors and volunteers, United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in every community. Together, in a year, we help more than 3 million people get health care services and support, and over 1 million people get on the path to financial stability. We help more than 2 million at-risk teens with out-of-school programs and individualized support, and over 500,000 people get back on their feet with job skills training. These are the faces of change. You can be one too.